morning, FLOSSTUBE friends. This is Letitia, the Crafty Curator. Welcome back to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch, and I'm here to show you my progress over the last couple of weeks. Tell you about my plans, specifically for StitchMaynia, StitchMaynia, MonogaMaynia, all the manias, because I'm manic, obviously. And share a small bit of haul. Very little haul this week. But I do have some things to share. So this last week has been pretty exciting. I recorded my first FLOSSTUBE since October of 2019, 2 weeks ago. And then last weekend, I was invited to join the Sunshine Stitchers in their Zoom FLOSSTUBE. Very exciting for a number of reasons. Number one, I watch the Sunshine Stitchers every single Sunday with my cup of coffee and my stitching. It's kind of my ritual. Huge fans. I'm a huge fan of theirs. So it was an absolute joy to join them and share some of my finishes. It was fun revisiting those finishes. Literally running around my living room, taking stuff off the walls and preparing for this video. So that was pretty great. So thank you, Sunshine Stitchers, for that invitation and that experience. I had an amazing time. Also last week, Jimmy FLOSSTUBE uploaded a quarantine special. And in that quarantine special, he uploaded the footage of the interview that I did with him at the, was it the very first FLOSSTUBE New Jersey retreat? I think it was. So that was 2 years ago. So that was really fun watching that. Jimmy, I think we need to have a talk show. That was so much fun. It was so much fun reliving that interview. I just laughed so much, and I hope you guys did too. So thank you, Jimmy FLOSSTUBE, for the quarantine special and the fantastic skits that you and Emily did. It was truly so much fun to watch. So that was a lot of excitement last week as far as stitching goes. Or at least as far as stitching videos go, because there wasn't there was a little bit of excitement. Let me take that back. I was gonna say there wasn't a whole lot of excitement in regard to my stitching because I've been on this monogamous stitching kick, not necessarily planned. Well, yeah, planned, but not, oh, I'm a monogamous stitcher now. No, I was focusing on Tribal Monkey for the past month and a half. That's because I wanted to show him some love. I don't recall why I was monogamously stitching on him. Yes, I do. I was monogamously stitching on him in the month of March because he brought me great comfort. I absolutely loved stitching on that project with the bright colors and the blocks of color. I started him in May 23rd of 2016. So it was coming on his 2-year anniversary. And I did finish him, so I'm going to be sharing that with you today. But more than anything, he was just comfort stitching. So I decided to keep going with Tribal Monkey through the month of April because I wanted to finish him before his birthday. And I did. My plan was to finish stitching him in April, and April 30th, I was stitching like a fiend. My window's open, so you probably hear my neighbors. Not social distancing right now. It's fine. I tried to finish them in the month of April, so April 30th, I was stitching like a fiend that night. And I was so excited about having a finish during the Friday night stitching party hosted by Off the Grid Needle Arts in the Facebook group. And I was posting my progress and my plans to finish it that night, and I was so excited. And as I was typing, I realized it's Thursday. It's not Friday at all. But I had off on Friday, and it completely screwed me up, as if I don't have a hard enough time keeping up with the days of the week and the months and all, and no idea what's going on. I had off on Friday. So Thursday, all day Thursday, I was thinking it was Friday because I was off the next day. Then on Friday, all day, I was thinking it was Saturday. And I was looking for something that was supposed to come in the mail. And I got frustrated because it was supposed to be delivered on Saturday and it wasn't delivered. But it was actually Friday, and it was a comedy of errors. I didn't know what was going on last week. So anyway, squirrel. So I didn't finish it for the month of, I didn't finish it in the month of April. I literally had the smallest amount left to do, but I couldn't keep my eyes open. So I ended up having a Friday off the grid party finish anyway, because I finished it on May 1st. So that was exciting. But yeah, that's what's been going on the past week or two. Lots of exciting things. It's very overcast out here in Maryland today, so hopefully you guys can see everything that I'm about to show you. Relatively well. I have everything Jimmy rigged in front of me with the artificial lighting and all that, trying to make sure that you guys can see what's going on. Excuse me, and everything's not dulled out. So without further ado, I guess we'll get started. Yeah, so I guess I'll start off with the big finish. So this is Tribal Monkey by YI Autos Cross Stitch, and that's YIOTAS X Stitch, YI Autos X Stitch. And here is my finished monkey. And that is actually showing up exactly right. That is the color of the fabric. That is the colors in the monkey. That is him. So a little bit of background. Like I said, I started this on May 23rd, 2016. I nicknamed him Cornelius because he reminded me of Cornelius from the original Planet of the Apes. Fun fact, I stitched him 1.5 times. If you've been watching my channel for any period of time, you kind of know the story. But there's a close-up of all his colors, and he is just, yeah, I couldn't possibly love him more. I just realized I didn't sign it. I didn't put my name on it, so I got to sign it and put the date on, put my LB 2020. This is the second time I've done this. I've already gone ahead and put the interfacing on the back to protect those stitches before I frame him. This is the second time I put interfacing on the back of the stitches and got it all prepped for framing, only to realize I didn't sign it. But it was fine when I did it before. I don't remember what project it was, so I have to make sure that I put that in there. But that is Tribal Monkey. Really, really fun project. Like I said, one of my all-time favorites. Definitely in my top three. My top three favorites of things that I've ever stitched would be Desiderata, the Embrace, the memorial piece for my dad, and Tribal Monkey. So I have already gone on pictureframes.com and I have ordered the frame. I've ordered the mat. The frame is an antique copper bamboo, and the mat is a dark raspberry color to kind of bring out those purples that are in his face. And it's a great complementary color to the orange. So I'm hoping that it's as beautiful as I think it will be. I'll insert the mock-up here of what it's going to look like. When it's framed. So that has already been ordered. If you guys don't know about pictureframes.com, pictureframes.com, I believe I first heard about it from Danielle Stitcherista. Basically, you measure your finished piece. You can order the mat. You can order the frame, obviously. You can order the acid-free, not only acid-free matte, but acid-free foam core, acid-free, the UV non-glare acrylic covering, which is not glass, but you can't tell that it's not glass. It's everything that I use to frame Desiderata. So with a lot of patience and just taking your time, if I can frame Desiderata, in my mind, I can frame anything. Perfect? No. Presentable and exactly what I would hope for? Yes. And it saves tons of money. Tons of money, because there's always a coupon code for pictureframes.com. I got 25% off of everything that I ordered, and it's a fraction of what I would pay if I had taken it to be professionally done. So hopefully that will be in my hot little hands within the next week or so, and I can frame him and put him on my wall. So exciting stuff happening in my little stitchy world. So that was my only finish. Let's talk whips. So whips. The first one I showed on the Sunshine Stitchers, but I didn't show it on my channel. So I decided I was going to try that whole concept of stitching 30 minutes a day, borrowing from Caroline's idea of early morning stitching with her coffee before she starts her work day. I love that concept. I'm not so great at giving myself that time in the morning before I start work, and I'm working from home. But it's such a nice feeling to be able to start your day with that calm. You have your cup of coffee, you have your stitching, it's usually quiet. So I'm going to try to do that 30 minutes a day before I start my work day. And it started with this project, which is the Flying High Sampler by Clorami Designs. Clorami Designs, you can go on their website if you want to. It's a rabbit hole. It's a deep, dark rabbit hole. Because, did I show this before? I might have. So forgive me if I'm repeating myself. It's a deep, dark rabbit hole because she does all red work samplers. And if you're trying to stitch a red work sampler, or if you have a love of red work samplers, if you go on this website, you're in trouble. I'm in trouble. It's a deep, dark rabbit hole. But I fully blame Ellen for this, because I don't think I've ever even heard of Clorami Designs before she showed her Glorious sampler, and it is exactly that. It is absolutely glorious. So I went on the website. Actually, I think I got this from Gigi, from Stitch and Frog. I can't remember where I got this from. But I ordered this from an online shop, and it wasn't from her website directly. It was after the fact that I went on the website. But this is the pattern that I chose, which is the Flying High Sampler. Hashtag obviously duh, because the peacocks. And I am stitching this on 40 count XJU Designs. I don't remember the name of the color, but I'm stitching it on 40 count using dark red Splendor. So if you don't know about Splendor silk, this is a 12 ply silk made by Rainbow Gallery, and I truly love it. I started using this years and years ago, working on my fish. If you've been with me for some period of time, you know about the fish. He's unfinished. We don't talk about the fish right now. We're not talking about the fish right now. So Splendor silk is a beautiful 12 ply silk. I love this because you get 8 yards of 12 ply silk, and it's super affordable. Beautiful colors. I've never had a problem with this silk. So I'm doing the entire sampler in this with dark red. And like I said, I don't remember the name of the fabric color, but it's a beautiful neutral from XJU Designs. And I'll show it to you. And this is my progress doing 30 minutes a day for like 2 or 3 days. I started it on March 14th for hashtag self-care new start. So I started with just a little bit of this part right here. That's all I started. So for the 30 days, 30 minutes a day, I did this little bottom part of the flower border and then the 2 letters. And that's as far as I got. But I'm still going to do the 30 minutes a day, but not necessarily on this sampler. More to come on that. But I love how it's turning out. The letters are absolutely beautiful. Something about letter stitching. Really love it. It's in my rose Garon totem bag. You know when I showed this? When I did my 6-month whip parade. That's why it felt familiar. So I did the 6-month whip parade a couple of weeks ago, just showing everything I've been working on since the last time I made a FLOSSTUBE video. And that's when I showed it. I knew I showed it before. So my next whip is my StitchMaynia piece. So I typically don't do new starts for StitchMaynia. This is actually, I believe, the first time I have ever done new starts for StitchMaynia. But I'm borrowing from Lindy Stitch's, I think it was Lindy Stitch's idea for StitchMaynia, because I love the idea of a new start on the weekends. Even though I'm not tying it to reaching any particular goal like she did, I'm just doing new starts every weekend in May. Just because, and it's stuff that I've had in my stash except for one. It's now in my hot little hands, but it wasn't in my stash. But for the most part, I am doing MonogaMaynia during the week with Blue Moroccan Lace by Chatelaine Designs. So this is my progress on Blue Moroccan Lace. Let's try to tuck this up a little bit and make it slightly more presentable. I don't know. So this is my progress on this so far. This is stitched on 28 count Monaco, which I tea-dyed Monaco, which I love because it is a denser fabric, and I absolutely love stitching on Monaco. This includes my progress from Friday night when I first picked it up on May 1st, and you can't really tell, but I just stitched in this upper area right here. I finished the outline of the gold. Let's see if I can get in a little bit closer. I can't see what I'm showing you. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah. So I finished the outline. You see there's a double outline of gold using Petite Treasure braid, and an old gold and an antique gold. So I've worked on that double outline, worked on some Algerian eyelets and some road stitches in that dark blue, which is Velvet Night Sky by Gloriana, one of my all-time favorite colors. Yeah, so not a lot of progress, and it's fine. Oh, look how close we are there. Okay, it's fine. Not a lot of progress, but I'm going to be working on this all month long. All month. So I have no goals as to where I would like to get to. No goals as to where I would like to get to. I'm just going to work on it for MonogaMaynia and sprinkle in a new start every weekend. So, that said, the new start that I chose this weekend is Birds of a Feather by Papillon Creations. You guessed it. There are peacocks involved. So this is Birds of a Feather by Papillon Creations. I've had this for so long, and I'm excited to finally start it. Absolutely beautiful blues and purples. But what surprised me about this pattern when I first purchased it was the was the number of specialty stitches that were in this pattern. I'm not mad at it, but there are a lot of specialty stitches. Specialty stitches, Kreinik, all the things. And I didn't realize that. I just saw the peacocks and I was like, yes, please, with the blues and the purples. And you know, I'm not afraid of a specialty stitch. I love a good specialty stitch design. So that was a fun surprise. And from what I understand, Papillon Creations has a lot of specialty stitches, kind of like Northern Expressions Needlework has a lot of specialty stitches. There's still cross stitches, but it has excellent diagrams to follow along with. It might be something that is a little intimidating to a novice stitcher, kind of like a chatelaine would be a little bit intimidating. Well, chatelaines can be intimidating even to the not so novice stitchers. But if you're new to specialty stitches, the pattern might be a little bit daunting when you first look at it, but it has excellent diagrams and clear steps on what to do. So it's a very well done pattern as far as specialty stitches go. So here we have the colors all drawn out. What do they call this? Nicoling the fibers now? Making them look all pretty and presentable. Yeah. So these are the colors. You see there's purples and a brown, but lots of different greens and blues. Really, really beautiful. Beautiful colorway. Purples, greens, blues, all the things. So what this pattern calls for, it calls for, I believe, Gentle Arts colors. Yeah, Gentle Arts colors, but there's also a DMC conversion. I'm doing the DMC conversion, obviously. And there are 2 packs of beads that are also in here. So there's also a sprinkle of beading. Speaking of beading, so when I was talking with the Sunshine Stitchers last week, I was talking about blue Moroccan lace and how I haven't done any beading so far. It's nothing but stitching. So after all of that stitching, I then have to go back and do all of the beading, which is no small feat. It's a lot of beads that go in there. So I was sharing that when I finished my At the Met by Mirabilia, who I nicknamed Josephine, after Josephine Baker, I remember when I finished stitching her, I was so excited, and then that high was kind of blown because I had to go back and do all the beading, and she sat for a while because I wasn't ready to deal with all the beads. I do beading. I love the final effect after the beading is done. I do not like the process of beading. It's overwhelming to me, especially when there are a lot of beads to be done. But I love the after effect. And of course, I pick designs that are chock full of beads, so that makes sense, but whatever. So I decided, now that blue Moroccan lace is back on the rods, I might spend some time in this upper section and just, even once the stitching is done, because I've gotten to the outer limits of that section. The gold peaks are the outermost point of the design. When you do the metallics, there's nowhere else to stitch. So I'm thinking about maybe staying in that area and just getting the beading done. And just as I scroll down and finish the left-hand side and the bottom of the pattern, because I finished the far right, I have to do the left-hand side and the bottom before I finish stitching, and I'm pretty much finished the top, almost. So I'm thinking that I might just spend some time getting the beading done, and just keep it really loose on the scroll frame and put some batting on there and just keep it moving, because I'm not going to want to go back and do that beading. I will, but I don't want to have to do that. Same with Birds of a Feather. Starting in, I'm about to show you, I just realized I haven't even shown you my start on this yet. So starting in this my left-hand corner, there's a lot of beads in there. That has beads, Kreinik, specialty stitches. It has all the things in there just in that little corner. So I might start with the beading on this one as well. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. So this is my start on Birds of a Feather. I am using for my stash 32 count Sprite Lugana, which is a very pale lavender. That's my start. I started it yesterday. I made a lot of masks yesterday, so I made like 30 masks yesterday. So I didn't get started on this till late last night. So that's why all you see is a square. But I'm going to make up for that today, spend some time with it today. And then tomorrow I go back to Blue Moroccan Lace. But I think what I'm going to do with my Insania starts, like I said, I'm doing one start every weekend. I think I might incorporate those into my 30 minutes a day with my cup of coffee before work, hopefully, and spend the rest of the week getting a little more content into the new start than I would have if I just worked on it on the weekend, and then put it away officially as a whip before I start my next Insania start, if any of that makes sense. So that is my first Insania start for this weekend. So the next are in no particular order, really. I don't know when I'm going to start what, because I'm still waiting on something from One Two Three Stitch for one of these pieces, so I'm not quite ready to start it. But the rest are kitted and ready to go. So I will start with what I just talked about. Hashtag not prepared for the video. I'm excited about this because, number one, the pattern it's ridiculous. I bought it as soon as I saw it. You probably have all seen her by now, is Princess Ileana by Mirabilia. She is absolutely amazing. The description on the back says, a design like no other. She has all the new DMC colors on her fanciful look. The pattern in her gown, wait a minute, sorry. Yeah. Patterns in her gown are inspired by the delicate florals on the tea sets at the Ritz-Carlton in New York. So she is 100% DMCs except for the beads. I don't even think there's Kreinik in there. She's 100% DMC. So that's pretty great. DMC and beads. So Princess Ileana, absolutely going to convert her. This is also the first Mirabilia I have worked on since Raven Queen. Oh, that's a lie. Since I messed up with Lily in the Woods. Lily in the Woods, if you remember, I started her on a hand-painted moon fabric where I strategically wanted her to be laying on the branch beneath the moon. And in true Letitia fashion, I miscalculated. And she is off center, so I'm frogging out everything that I started, which I have to do because I want that fabric, obviously. I bought that fabric to stitch that pattern, so I have to frog it. And I guess I haven't been too excited about frogging that because she's been in the trunk probably 2 years. She was a birthday start I think 2 years ago. And I haven't touched a Mirabilia since. So this is going to be the next one. So I don't know which weekend in May I'm going to start her. And I got the embellishment pack. Don't know which weekend in May I'm going to start her. But she is going to be one of those weekends. There's that. The next one for StitchMaynia, there are 5 weekends in May, I believe, is is a Laurel Birch kit, cat collage. Yes, please. So this is a kit Caroline sent a picture of this to me while she was on retreat, and Missy was stitching it, and she saw it and she said Letitia would love this. She sent me the picture. She was absolutely right. She knows what I like. And I immediately went to Amazon and found this. It is a full kit, including all of the colors in Ada. There's all the colors, and there's even some beads in there. This metallic floss right here scares me, but we'll see how that works out. But this is going to be a start this week. Now, let's talk about that Ada. So the Ada that typically comes in kits, I have no issue with Ada. I love Ada. I prefer even weave or linen, but I'll still stitch on Ada. But my problem with Ada is when they put all of that starch or sizing in the fabric and it makes it cardboard stiff. I can't deal with that. So the piece of fabric that came in the kit was just that. It was a 14 count piece of Ada. It was starched heavily. It could stand up on its own. And I thought about switching out the fabric, which is sometimes what I do in kits for that reason. I thought about switching out the fabric, but I didn't know if I wanted to do that when, you know, because number one, there was no stitch count on the design, and I counted all of the squares horizontally and vertically to figure out the stitch count. So that wasn't a big problem. But when I thought about it, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this on 25 count because I paid for a kit with all this floss. I'm going to use it. And then when I started thinking about a 32 count or an 18 count Ada, I just said, you know what? Let me see what I can do with this Ada that's in here to make it more pleasing for me to use. And the first step was to soak out all of that starch. So I did that. You know, when you drink your coffee, it sometimes helps to open up the lid, because then you actually get coffee when you're drinking it. It's kind of the whole point. So I took that piece of fabric and I soaked it all out, and then I decided that I wanted to tint it a little bit, give it a little bit of color, because I didn't want that stark white. That bright white. I wanted to give it a little bit of color. I didn't know if I wanted blue. I didn't know if I wanted tan. So I looked at what dye that I had on hand, and I did a little mixture of indigo and tan. And it came out this pretty sky blue with modeling and little pieces, not splotches, but every now and again you'll see some tan modeling in there. So, and I went ahead and zigzagged my edges, but there you go. So it's sky blue, and it looks like a sky because it has that modeling in it. So this is what I'm going to go ahead and use for that cat collage. And I'll enjoy stitching on it because it's not as stiff. And I think the blacks will, because it's 14 count, I have concerns about coverage, but I think the blacks will do a little bit better on a fabric that has color in it as opposed to stark white, which will show all your business. So that's StitchMaynia project number 3. Number 4 and number 5. So these are fairly recent acquisitions that I believe I showed in my haul video from a couple of weeks ago. The one that I really wanted to start was the Sunnyside Sampler by the Drawn Thread. I saw this in my LNS, well, not my LNS, but my favorite LNS in Virginia Beach, Dying to Stitch. I saw this stitched on the wall. I believe it was this pattern. I'm 99% sure because that's why I purchased it from them. And I believe I picked up the right one. But they have it stitched on their wall, and instead of having the alphabet spelled out at the bottom, it says Kempville. Annie, if you're watching this, let me know if I have this right. It has Kempsville at the bottom, which is the area of Virginia Beach that dying to stitch is in. So I picked up this Sunnyside sampler. I want to say I purchased this in October of 2019. And I kitted it up with just the dinky dies because it calls for dinky dies and MPI. And the MPI I'm just going to use DMC alternative, but I did get the dinky dies. And I am doing this on 40 count platinum. Now I took this piece of 40 count platinum, this was a fat quarter, and I split it in half. So I have two pieces that are 10 by 9 by 27. So I split it in half and zigzag the edges so I don't have any issues. So I'm using one half for my Sunnyside sampler and the second half for Begin by Bent Creek. All the little trees. I don't know what's up with me and tree patterns, but here we are. Apparently I like tree patterns. Between this and the RP patterns that I talked about, and the forest groot and the music in the trees, apparently I like tree patterns. So I'm going to start this. It's already fully kitted. That was the chart. That was a hot mess. But all the weeks and gentle arts are in here. Excuse me, let me be clear. I kitted this up. It didn't come with everything. But the pattern is fully kitted. You know what I'm trying to say, whatever. So by splitting up this piece of platinum that I had in my stash, it will cover both of these patterns. So like I said, for StitchMaynia, starting a new project every weekend, working on it through the weekend, and then going to try to do 30 minutes a day throughout the week for each of them. So we'll see how that works out. What else is on the docket? I wanted to show you this because I was wondering, I've started this pattern a couple of times as well. This is Rio by Heaven and Earth Designs. This is one of my all-time favorite Heaven and Earth designs. I mean, look at her. Seriously, look at her. What's not to like, right? So, I thought about starting this for StitchMaynia, but then there was this situation. Yeah, that's the pattern. I got the large format PDF, and apparently the large format PDF is like 132 pages. No big deal. 132 pages. My husband is an editor, so he was able to hook this up for me and make it into a book. I really wanted to start this, but I don't know if I want to start this for Insania. But I still wanted to show it to you because it's fantastic. The peacock feathers and the butterflies and the voodoo vibe. I'm just here for it. I started her before, the mini, but then I decided I didn't want to do the mini. I wanted the regular size one because I wanted all those details to be captured. So here we go again. And I think that was it for all my whips. We talked about plans. We shared the finish. So now let's talk about haul. I do not have a lot of haul this week. It sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot. I got a little bit of fabric and some needles and some DMC that I needed for that alphabet sampler. I can't remember the name of it. The alphabet sampler that I was just working on. I needed some more DMC, and I just got some neutral fabrics, some needles, a random thing of Splendor, a random thing of Sulky. But what I consider the real haul well, it's all real haul, but what I wanted to share was the English Garden by Samplers Not Forgotten. Now, I've been eyeballing this for quite a while, and I finally bit the bullet on it, went ahead and kitted her up. The first time that I saw this, and I've been thinking about it ever since, was at the FLOSSTUBE retreat last year, the 2019 FLOSSTUBE retreat in New Jersey. And somebody was working on this. I don't remember her name, but I truly believe she just finished it and posted it, because I saw it and I was like, I know that has to be the same person. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be the same person, but I wonder if it's the same person that I saw stitching on this in New Jersey at the FLOSSTUBE retreat. One thing I can tell you is this is a prime example of the picture not doing justice to the actual stitched pattern. When I saw her stitching this, it stopped me in my tracks. It was so gorgeous. And why is this not a StitchMaynia start? Because, Letitia, you already cut your fabric. Okay? So simmer down and take a seat. That's why it's not a StitchMaynia start. So that's my haul for this week. That's it, aside from some random neutrals. I got a piece. The neutrals itself aren't very exciting. I got a couple of pieces of 46 count linen, just because I wanted some 46 count linen, some more. I think I have one piece, and that is, oh, I forget her name. Eliza Bell Cox. I don't know. You know who she is. Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I'm stitching her on 46 count, and I think I'm stitching something else. There's another whip I have that's 46 count. Yes. That daggone sampler that I was just talking about. I can't remember the name of it with the funky alphabets. I just got it from Shepherd's Peddler. Can't remember the name of it. 1827 Fearlander. What? I don't know. Anyway, I was getting the additional DMCs that I needed, which was right here, for that piece, and I decided to just get a couple of more pieces of the 46 count Bergen linen, because I was truly enjoying stitching on the Bergen linen. I also got a piece of antique white banding, because the Sunshine Stitchers kept talking about banding for that Jardin Privé design, but I'm thinking about this for either my trees, the Ronaldo Parolin, am I saying that wrong? Probably. Trees, or maybe redoing, restarting the Celtic Lads. I don't know. But I wanted to get a piece and get my hands on it. It's a 27 count antique white with a pyramid design on the edges. Hopefully you can see the banding there. And I just thought that was just so pretty. But my question would be, how do you frame this? I didn't think about that before I paid for this. How do you frame this? What do you do with this? Is this like something that you do for a wall hanging? Probably. And why am I so close to the camera? It's probably something you would use for a wall hanging and not framing. I don't know, but we'll figure that out. And I also got a 40 count piece of mallow linen for reasons that I can't think of right now. Actually, it's probably for this. That's probably why I purchased that. So, I believe that's it. I believe that is all of that's all of the goodies that I had in my special Garon Toten Bags Froggy bag. Yeah. So the next update will include my update on Blue Moroccan Lace, my update on my Birds of a Feather by Papillon Creations, and whichever is the next StitchMaynia project that I choose. But you will probably see it on Instagram before you see it in one of my videos. So I think that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for the past almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years I've been doing FLOSSTUBE in October. 6 years. It's really crazy. And the only reason I'm mentioning that is because Sheila asked me last week in the Sunshine Stitchers, how long have you been doing FLOSSTUBE? And I started in October of 2014. And I was like, wow, it's been 6 years. Some of y'all have been with me from the beginning, and it's just the relationships and the friendships that have been cultivated over the past 6 years. I am just so grateful. I'm grateful to have a community of people where no matter what I show, whether you like it, whether it's your jam, whether it's something you would stitch, somebody told me that tribal monkey looked creepy, you know, you still appreciate it and the work that goes into it. And I love that. And no, I was not offended at all that somebody said tribal monkey was creepy. I've heard that before, and he is a little creepy, but I love him. But no matter what I show, I know that you will always appreciate it because you appreciate needlework. And it just brings me so much joy, not only watching those of you that contribute to FLOSSTUBE, but those of you that just enjoy watching what I stitch. Thank you. Thank you for your support with Tribal Monkey and all the love that Tribal Monkey received upon his finish. Thank you so much. It was a great journey. It was fun stitching on him. It was fun just sharing that moment with all of you. So in the great moment of sharing and appreciation and giving back and passing the stash and all the things, I think 1.5 times of stitching this monkey has been enough for this girl. And I am going to share my well-loved pattern with you. So Tribal Monkey has been stitched using a working copy. I've had this pattern over 3 years, maybe going on 4, maybe 3 years actually. I think it was 3 years into, I think it was 2016 when I first purchased him. And he's still in the same original bag. That's from a sticker that I tried to pull off and left a little residue. But other than that, this pattern is in excellent condition. Now, when you look on the first page of the pattern, you do see where I marked off just a little bit of the pattern with a green twistable pencil. And by a little bit, I mean just a little bit. Because these are very large printouts. I don't know I don't know if it's A5, I don't know. It's large. It's like 10 by 17. They're big pieces, but I was able to make working copies, so I didn't have to mark up my pattern. I don't like to mark up my pattern if my original pattern, if I can avoid it, for this reason. So Tribal Monkey by Why I Artist Cross Stitch. I am going to pass the stash on him. Now, I have a lot of floss left over because the first time that I stitched him on 28 count. And I ordered enough floss for 28 count in the kit. This was a kit. I ordered enough floss for the 28 count, but then I messed up. I messed up really bad. And I started it all over again on 25 count purposefully because I wasn't sure how much floss I had left. Now, one of the good things about these flosses, I believe it's all Madeira floss. So you can either get the Madeira that you need or try to match it up with DMC. I don't know. I don't know if you want to use your own colors, but whoever receives this package is also going to receive the floss that I have left. It's all bobbinated. That's one thing I can say about Why I Artist Cross Stitch. I love how she kits up her kits. Everything is bobbinated. Everything is bobbinated. It's a beautiful presentation, and her level of customer service is second to none. Let me give you an example. So maybe about a month ago, probably over a month ago. I want to say it was early March, mid-March. So we're actually going on 2 months. Mid-March, I ordered, I posted my progress on Tribal Monkey and StitchMaynia, right? And she's a member of StitchMaynia, and she commented on the status of Tribal Monkey. And I said, listen, if you ever do anything like this again with an elephant or a giraffe or a rhinoceros, I'm just going to throw my money at you. So she said, you never know, something might happen, whatever. It was, it was just chit chat. But then as I was going back to look on the comments from the post that I made, somebody mentioned that they went on to Etsy, or maybe I mentioned that I got the kit for Tribal Monkey off of Etsy, and she came back and she said, you might want to check out my website. I have a lot more on there than I have in my Etsy shop. So I go to the website, fell down a rabbit hole, and I ordered a couple of items. I'll leave it at that. Long story short, she sent out the items almost immediately. Here we are in May, and I still don't have them. The beauty of this is, I understand we're in a global pandemic. Things take a long time. Things may or may not get lost. I was waiting patiently. I wasn't going to, I wasn't at the point where I'm like, okay, I need to send her a message or something. She reached out to me proactively. She sent out the package, like I said, within a couple of days of me ordering. She followed up with me proactively last week, and she said, I noticed that your package has not yet reached you. When others that have been sent afterwards have reached somebody, I fear that it's lost. I'm going to go ahead and claim this as a loss and can resend you your package. Or unless you would like a refund, what would you like to do? And of course, I still wanted my package, because the red India elephant, you guys, I wanted my package. But I love the fact that she proactively reached out, and she just provided this excellent level of customer service from beginning to end. And I just truly appreciate her. So check her out. Go throw your money at her. But in the meantime, I do have this old, well-loved pattern that I am willing to give away, because I'm not going to stitch Tribal Monkey a third time. So, and along with that, because nobody should travel alone, I am a huge fan of Garon tote bags. Huge fan. I have been in their Bag of the Month club probably for over a year now. And I have enhanced my collection outside of the Bag of the Month club. I like Garon tote bags. But every now and again, very rarely, I will get a, sorry, lots of crinkling. I will get a design that doesn't necessarily speak to me, but I know full well that it would speak to others. So in this I keep saying fabric of the month, in this Bag of the Month that I got, it was in the month of December. It is still in its original packaging, is this beautiful North Pole Santa project bag. Absolutely beautiful. Ronnie's handiwork is exquisite. So this particular pattern design on the fabric doesn't necessarily speak to me, but I know it will speak to many of you. And it comes with a little mini notions bag. So these two things I will be giving away. You know the drill. You know what not to say. If you say the word giveaway, it will be deleted. I should probably put this away after the video because that's a lot of crinkling. So in order to enter for the Tribal Monkey giveaway, sorry I'm a little bit scattered right now, leave me a comment with the word rainbow for Rainbow Tribal Monkey. Leave me a comment with the word rainbow, and I will know you will be interested in being entered into the giveaway for a Tribal Monkey and for this beautiful Garon tote bag project bag set. Today is Sunday, May 3rd. I will do the drawing 1 month from today. That just reminded me of something else. I will do the drawing 1 month from today. On June 3rd. I had to think about what that was. That just reminded me, I did a giveaway in my last video for 3 long dog sampler patterns. They have all been chosen and received. So I will insert the video here of the selection that I made on the 28th, April 28th, to those winners. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, April 28th, and I am about to do 3 drawings for 3 long dog sampler PDF patterns, as promised in my last video for a giveaway. So as you can see, I put in the URL, I put in the word grateful, which was the requirement. You had to use grateful in your comments, and let's see who we come up with. So I'm getting my YouTube comments. And I am going to go ahead and scroll down. And pick a winner. All right, winner number 1 is Miss Teacher Terry. She says, I'm so glad you made the video. It was a wonderful visit. I'm grateful that I still have my job and am able to go to work every day. Well, Miss Teacher Terry, I am glad for you as well. I'm grateful you have that as well. I'm going to go ahead and pick another winner. Sue Dabaki. Oop, I probably messed up your last name, and I'm sorry about that. You said, this was my first time watching you on the recommendation of Caroline and others. I love the versatility of your stitches. I will be back. Thank you for offering the long dogs. I'm grateful for my stitching and the time that I've been given to feel like I can stitch to my heart's content. Wasn't that a wonderful comment? And how great is it that you're a first-time watcher and you won? That's fantastic. Let's pick the 3rd person. Let's start. Roxy Voorhees. What a great name, Roxy. All right. I love Renato Parolin trees. Your unicorn pattern hangs framed over my bed. Oh, isn't that great? I stitched on an opalescent teal fabric with white thread. One of my favorite stitches. I enjoyed seeing all your stash, whips, and haul. It's fun to see a stitcher who enjoys several genres of projects. I am grateful that we have so many educated and skilled professionals dedicating their lives to caring for us. Stay safe. Well, thank you, Roxy, and I agree with you 100%. I'm grateful for that as well. So to these 3 winners, congratulations. I will go ahead and reply to your comments to either DM me or message me. Facebook or Instagram is fine, with your email address and what long dog pattern you would like to have in your stash. Happy stitching to all 3 of you, and thanks everybody for watching and for your comments. And I appreciate you all. Stay safe. Bye. So the winners were Sue, Terry, and Roxy. Congratulations. Sue chose the Pilgrim, Terry chose Castles in the Air, and Roxy chose Pavane. I'm probably saying that wrong. All excellent choices. I hope you guys get many years, months, whatever of stitching out of those patterns. And thank you so much for watching my channel and subscribing. Fun fact, I think it was Sue. Sue was a first-time viewer and she won, so I thought that was pretty spectacular. I got a little bit of an uptick in viewers and followers on Instagram as a result of that Sunshine Stitchers video, I'm pretty sure. So thank you guys, and all of you that are new to my channel, welcome. Thanks for being here. That said, I think that's all that I have to say. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Sunday. I hope everybody is doing well, and that your spirits are up, and that you find something to be grateful for every single day. Focusing on gratitude helps, and I am grateful for all of you. I am grateful for this space to share this hobby that I love so very passionately, and I wish all of you safety and good health and peace and all the things. So until next time, I'm Letitia. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me today. And be kind to yourselves and each other. Take care.